Hello and welcome everybody. Happy Friday. Hope everyone had a lovely week, is ready for the weekend, but first, we have one more hour of information for you all as part of today's Sectors Made Simple webinar. Today, I have lots of fun things to talk about. I have some information to share with all of you. Good information. But the topic for today is pretty straightforward. Sectors Made Simple has grown a lot through the years, almost 2 years now. And through that time, we've added a lot of resources, tools, and information that may not be obvious when you're first looking through our content or first subscribing to Sectors Made Simple. So what I wanted to do today was highlight 3 things for both non-members and for members that may be new, maybe review, but hopefully everyone gets to take at least one new thing away from today that they didn't know before. Plus, I have some fun promotions to talk about towards the end of the webinar having to do with this little guy. So, I'm not going to give away too much. This may be a pretty good hint already, but let's get straight into the action, shall we? So, let's take a look at what I have planned for us today. We're going to be looking at some Sectors Made Simple tips. Quick disclaimer, because we are today talking a little bit about strategy, we're going to be covering all of this in just education resources. This is meant to be examples. This isn't meant to be a trading strategy that I promise returns and I promise you $50 million, a new car, and a new dog in the process. No one can promise you that. What I can show you is how things have done in the past so that we may understand what it might do in the future. Results and returns are never guaranteed, so please remember this and take everything today as an educational resource. So the goal is pretty straightforward today. We've been in business for almost 2 years, and in that time, we've created over 150 hours of webinar and educational content. When we first opened up Sectors Made Simple back in, I believe it was June 29th of 2020, our main product was one thing, the Relative Strength Matrix. It's something that we all are probably familiar with seeing, whether you've seen it as a newsletter item or you've seen it through me talking about it in these webinars. This was all it was when we first came out with Sectors Made Simple. Behind my face there is a menu, and in that menu you'll find lots of the menu is getting so long that I need to keep moving my face lower and lower to show you all of the options. Sectors Made Simple has grown a lot since we first released it. So today I wanted to just take a moment to look over some of the tools that we've made available to subscribers, but also a few things that don't require you to have a subscription. We believe that learning should not be gated. You should not have to pay to learn. That's why we do these free webinars. That's why I always like answering questions. It's my way of helping to share information that I might have that you might find useful, interesting, funny, whatever it might be. As long as you have a mostly positive reaction to the information, I'm pretty happy. So I just wanted to highlight some of the highlights of Sectors Made Simple. And let's get it started while I have everyone's full attention with the things that don't require a subscription. The first is Spreadsheets Made Simpler. Spreadsheets are a type of program, like Excel or Google Sheets, that allow you to do math or do all sorts of cool things with them. They are a blank canvas that nerds can create all sorts of cool data analysis, findings, tracking, whatever it might be. The limits are endless. I remember my first time playing with a spreadsheet was in 8th grade, so 2008. Not a good year for the stock market, but I was in a stock market competition with my 8th grade class. My mom, being the savvy tech genius she was and is, found this cool program called XLQ that would import stock data into Excel that we could then use to buy and trade. I ended up shorting Bank of America in this competition, made 70% return in a week, sold off everything and held cash until the end of the competition and ended up winning. I'm just going to call that one luck. But what I'm trying to get at here is spreadsheets back in 2008 were important because they let us use them for stock analysis, for finding stock opportunities, for finding buy signals. And thankfully, in 2022, the ability to use these spreadsheets has gotten easier. You don't need XLQ and you don't need to pay for that anymore. Instead, you just get it all in Google Sheets. So we've used these Google Sheets to create custom stock screeners, dashboards to track stocks, backtesting comparisons. I use Google Sheets for tracking all of the income and expenses for sectors made simple. These are spreadsheets, these are tools that help everyone, regardless of what you're doing. So I wanted to give a resource to help you get started. So that's where Spreadsheets Made Simpler came from. Spreadsheets Made Simpler Basic is the very beginner course. That is, I know nothing about spreadsheets, teach me from knowing nothing to being able to do something with it. That's what Spreadsheets Made Simpler Basic helps you to do. For subscribers, we have a couple more resources, such as how to use Google Sheets to review backtesting results. I'll talk about that later, but it lets us compare multiple strategies against each other and see which strategies are performing the best. Let me show you an example of that really quick so we know kind of what I'm talking about. So here is a spreadsheet that I put together in one of our Sectors Made Simple member webinars that we compared 3 different trading strategies, one that uses total count, one that uses positive trend, and X count. These are all things that are available on the matrix. Positive trend, X count, total count. And we got to go through and see what stocks were they choosing, or what sectors were they choosing? Where did they agree? Where were they different? The returns of each one of these sectors so that we could see on a beautiful graph which strategies did better or worse than others. By the way, the green is SPY, so all of these strategies outperformed SPY by a mile, at least in 2021. And then some basic statistics that we can look at. What was the average return? What was the best? What was the worst? And what can we expect? That was all in a single members webinar. We have about 5 or 6 on this topic. So there is tons of resources available to subscribers as well for how to use Sectors Made Simple with these spreadsheets. And if that's not enough, if you're still looking for more ways to use spreadsheets, we also have a Be a Profit spreadsheet that we built Be a Profit as a screen within Google Sheets. That course is an additional cost. That one is not included with a subscription, although you do get a discount with a subscription. So if you want to take what you learned in the basics course and build it straight through, you don't need other resources. This course, from the start of the beginner course to the end of the advanced, takes you from knowing nothing to having a working stock screener that you can give it stocks and it tells you how they do for fundamental and technical analysis. So, what good is this information if I don't tell you where to find it, right? That's where learn.sectorsmadesimple.com comes in. Learn is our education website. This is where you'll find all of our webinars, but also all of the courses that we offer. Under courses, if you go to all courses, you'll find Spreadsheets Made Simpler Beginner. It is 100% free. You do not need a subscription. The only thing you need is a free account. We don't ask for a credit card. We don't ask for your mother's maiden name. Give us an email, give us a password, some just basic information like name, and you're off to the races. So in this class series, you'll see, well, the topics that you'll learn about are right here. Basic formulas, how to tell a formula, hey, look over there and grab the information. Some basic quality of life improvements, importing data such as from backtesting, and graphing, making your numbers into pictures. Again, this entire course is available for free. If that's not enough for you and you want to learn more, the Spreadsheets Made Simpler Advanced course is also available here on our site. Here, you can go ahead and, oh no, it doesn't look like you own this. You can go ahead and purchase it. For non-subscribers, it is available for $299. For members, it's available for 50% off for $149. The advantage also about these is you own it. There's no you only get it for a month or whatever. You own it. You get the classes, you get the homeworks, you get the checkpoints for the final project, and you get the final project, which is an investment resource in of itself. So not only do you get information, you also get an investment resource that you can use. Let's now move on to the second thing. Oh hey, we were just looking at that, the Learn site. We used to have all of our webinars up here on YouTube, and we still do, but it's difficult to navigate through over 80 hours of webinars if you're a non-member, over 160 hours if you are a member. It's a lot. So to make it easier, we created the Learn site. And like I said, it's not just for subscribers. The Learn site is for everyone. So create a free account and you're good to go to get started with the Learn site. Here on the site, you will find all of our webinars, members and non-members webinars. You can also search for specific topics. So for example, if we go back to the Learn site and click on webinars, here you'll find the most recent webinars that we've had, as well as all of the webinars we've done in the past. Say you're interested in ETFs. Here's all the webinars we've done on ETFs. How about subsectors? Here's all of the webinars I've done on subsectors. How about GameStop? Easy, quick way to find all of the content we offer. Again, all of our non-members webinars are available for free on our website. And we also have Spanish subtitles for all of the webinars. I don't like listening to my own voice. It drives me crazy. Well, it doesn't like it because I'm currently streaming, so it's getting all mixed up. But if you go to the site and load these videos, it will work absolutely no problem. So this is the Learn site. It is quick, easy, and now it decided to load. My internet's a little funky sometimes. Available with Spanish subtitles right in the video. So that is the Learn site. We also, on the Learn site, offer courses. These are not you buy it to get access to it courses like Spreadsheets Made Simpler. Instead, this is just our webinars that we've organized into a list for you. We have one class series, or course, Introduction to the Matrix. Let me show you how to find that really quickly. So from the Learn site, go to Courses, and down at the bottom, you will find Introduction to the Matrix. This class series is 100% free, is 12 hours of webinars to teach you what the matrix is, what information we use, and, if you have the time and the interest, how to make a matrix for yourself. That, again, is 100% free. Many of the other courses on here, such as, let's go to options and other investment types. There are free webinars that are included in most of these courses. So you don't need to buy a subscription if you're interested to start learning some of the information that these courses would provide. Again, with a subscription, everything that you see, all of these courses, except for the Spreadsheets Advanced, you get full access to. They will take you anywhere you want to go, from ways of doing advanced analysis with point and figure and other charting types, to how you can go beyond the matrix and use the information we provide in new and creative ways. We provide information for beginners, intermediate users, and advanced users alike. So, what is the last non-members resource, and my favorite, I think Kira's favorite as well? Me. I'm a resource to you, and please, treat me as such. I love to hear from you all, and I don't care if you don't have a subscription. If you send me an email and ask me a question, I'm not going to look up, like, do they have a subscription if I answer? No, I don't care about that. Yes, I run a business. Yes, subscriptions are how we generate revenue, but that's not why I answer questions. That's not why I do these webinars. I do these webinars because they're fun, they're a great way for me to get to connect with you, and it lets me provide information to everyone. So if you ever have any questions, suggestions of things you'd want to see, or webinar topics that you want to hear me cover, you can email us at support@sectorsmadesimple.com. There's only 2 people that look over that support email, me and my now wife, Kira. Those are the only 2. So if you need to get in contact with us, wow, that feels weird to say. That feels really weird to say. Anyway, we're the only 2. So this is a direct line for you to communicate with us and me. So treat us as such. Reach out with any questions or comments or things that you want to say or ask, and I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you. Because after all, it is my job to help you to invest simpler. There's something up with the internet today.
Is there?
Yeah, I keep getting the little red box on OBS saying that the bandwidth is low. Anyway, we move right along. So now that we've covered the non-members stuff, let's go in and talk a little bit about the members material that is available to us. The first is what I call the Sectors Made Simple spreadsheets. This is a group of spreadsheets that we work together with the Girasoles, many of whom are here in the chat with us right now, to create. These are educational resources and investment tools together. These sheets will include a number of things that you can use to invest, such as a way of looking up industries within a sector, a signal lookup so that you can find what companies are on buy signals right now, a watch list to get a list of companies, the point and figure buy price for those companies, your buy range, And it'll even tell you when those stocks are now in your buy range. And there's even more. So instead of me trying to explain it, let me show you the Sectors Made Simple investment resource. The first thing you see is a little introduction and a link to watch the webinar where I describe how all of this is used. Then we have the credits. These are all the people that made this spreadsheet possible, and I could not have done it without them. So thank you to everyone who is listed here. And let me just walk you through some of the spreadsheets in an example. We're going to pretend that I want to invest, and I want to invest right now. So I'm going to use the matrix and this investment resource spreadsheet to go from finding what sector to invest in to what industry, getting a list of companies, seeing which companies are on a buy signal right now, and adding them to my watch list. And we're going to do it all in less than 10 minutes. So let's go. Right now, looking at the matrix, the strongest sector overall is energy. I've talked quite a bit about the reason why. Not what I'm going to get into. If we look over here at relative strength, though, or at momentum, which is how have relative strength values changed from last week to this week, we see building materials and discretionary have grown quite a bit. Building materials is the second strongest sector. So I'm going to go past energy and I'm going to look at building materials. So the first thing I might do is go to the Industries tab. And I'm going to look up XLB. All right. This is now a list of all of the industries within materials. And we can see which industries are leading in terms of past week returns. If I click on any of the industries, it will bring me to the FinViz screener for that industry. So here we see 5 tickers. I'm just going to pull this over to the left side so I can add them. And we're going to go to our signal lookup. And what in the world did I just do? There we go. And I'm going to add those 5 ticker symbols. AMR, CCNC, HCC, METC, and SXC. All right. We now see that 2 of these stocks are currently on buy signals. One of them is on an ascending triple top, that it went on a buy signal on March 10th. The other is on a buy signal right now, that it went on the 28th of February. 28th, that's a little bit old for me, so I'm going to just go ahead and add HCC to the watch list. So you'd come over here, and you'd add HCC. If it wasn't on a buy signal, you could add its buy price, which at this point would be $42, and it would tell you wait, because it's not above that breakout signal. In this case, it hit that breakout and then dipped back down, so the spreadsheet would say wait. It's waiting until it goes above its breakout point again. That was one stock. Let's look at another. I feel like I said 10 minutes and that was about 3. So let's look at another, shall we? Discretionary is in a tricky spot right now. Personally, I'm going to just skip over discretionary and just, energy has been the strongest sector, currently is the strongest sector overall. I'm not going to just write it off like I just did discretionary. Let's go and look at energy. Back to the industries, XLE. We got 2 industries that are doing very well. Uranium and equipment and services. Let's go ahead and do uranium just because it's a little quicker. So I'm going to pull this back over to my other screen. And I'm going to go add these to our signal lookups, CCJ, DNN, LU, UEC, URG, and URI. No signals there. All right. Let's now try some out of here. Say there's too many stocks that we don't want to go through 60 stocks, because I don't want to go through 60 stocks. Let's start adding some different fundamental metrics, such as EPS growth quarter over quarter. Let's add a little bit of technical. Let's have a beta of less than 2, so we're not getting anything crazy volatile. All right, now we're down to 19. Let's add a couple more things. Institutional ownership over 50%. Let's add a return on equity of over 15%. Okay, that was maybe a little too much. 12 is good enough for me. Here are those 12 if you're interested. And let's go ahead and add them to here. AROC, DNOW. Also, while I'm typing all of these in, something important to remember is this list updates every single day. So just because they're not on a signal today doesn't mean you just erase the entire thing. Leave them. Because if tomorrow they go on a signal change, you can see that here. It will show you this will change. All of this data is real-time, updated every is 15 minutes delayed, just like every other source, but is updated very, very quickly. So these signals will change as quick as the market is changing. All right, through doing all of that, we now have 3 more signals. We have DNOW, which was on the 7th of March. So we could add that to our watch list. SOI. And TDW. If you ever need to know what the breakout price was, you can click here and it will bring up the chart for that. So we can see the breakout price was at $10.50. Ta-da, it's in a buy signal. Say I want to buy that now. We would go over here. So DNOW, we would say we bought it maybe for 1070. It's currently at 1075. Let's say we bought it for 1080. And we bought it today on March 11th of 2022. What this portfolio will do is it will tell you when you hit what are called your risk and profit points. These risk and profit points will help you to know what is your sell point, what is your buy point. It protects you from losses while making sure that you retain any gains you make. In this case, because the stock hit 1117 today, it would have triggered a trailing stop of $3. Maybe $3 is a little bit too conservative. Maybe we want $5. Now all of a sudden, this stays white, which means it's not in a sell, it's not in a buy. Or it's not in a sell because it's high, or it's not in a sell because it's low. And lastly, once you've done all of this, you can go into your results. You can type in what you bought, what you sold it for, and it will help you to know and keep track of how well you're trading. How many trades? How many times did you profit? What was your average profit? And what is your total return? All of this is in the spreadsheets. All of this is explained by me, but far better explained by the Girasoles, who, again, helped put all of these sheets together. They walk you through how they use these sheets as well. This is just one resource that is available to Sectors Made Simple subscribers. Which pattern is more profitable in point and figure? That's a tricky question because really there's a number of things that are going on. How long ago the signal was, the further back the signal, so for example, when I was looking at here, I didn't like SXC because the signal happened on February 28th, 2 weeks ago. I did like the breakout for HCC because it was yesterday. The more times a stock hits its resistance barrier but does not break it, the more important the signal is when it does. Also, the longer a resistance barrier is set but not broken, the stronger the signal is when it is broken. For this spreadsheet, we do not look at double top breakouts. The only signals that we look at are ascending triple top, spread triple top, and bullish triangle breakout. Those are the only ones that this sheet would look at. And again, all of this updates real time with real stock information. We've come a long way since 14 years ago where I was messing around with Excel and XLQ, and my mom was paying, I don't even want to know how much for that subscription per month. All of this is now available for free from Google and Google Sheets. This program is available online at sheets.google.com, and instead of having you have to pay to try and figure out how just to get the data, we get to work together to use that data to invest. So this is one resource that is available as part of your Sectors Made Simple subscription. This entire sheet is in English, and we also have the entire sheet in Spanish as well. Just if you prefer to get your content in Spanish, we've made the same spreadsheet and the same information available in Spanish. If I am an SMS member and I don't have any of the sheets, how can I get them? We have a past members webinar on that. It's called the Matrix Tracking Spreadsheet webinar. So that's the name of the webinar. Or if you want, you can also email me at support@sectorsmadesimple.com, and I'm more than happy to send you a link there directly. I would encourage you to check out that webinar though, just because in that webinar I also walk you through all of these sheets and how to use them. All right, that was the first of the 3 hidden benefits. Hopefully that started things off on a pretty good note. The second is my favorite, custom matrices. Have you ever gotten into a position that you're looking at 3 or 4 companies and you're not sure which one you want to buy right now? Custom matrices can help you with that. Custom matrices are just like, well, like the name says, the matrix. It takes a whole list of tickers, compares them against all of the others, and tells you today who has the most strength, short-term and long-term wise. In addition, we also get momentum. Momentum is our way of knowing who's gained or lost ground over time. Let me quickly show you. Here you can see a list of custom matrices. For example, I've been tracking one that is a comparison between a group of ETFs within energy. We're looking at equipment, extraction, uranium, XOP this is extraction and production, this is refining, uranium, and energy itself. We can take a look to see who were the leaders on March 4th. We can compare over time what industries or what tickers have grown. And because this data is now a week old, we can rerun the same matrix as well. Actually, I want to add one more because we saw here that DNOW, SOI, and TDW were all doing pretty well. So we're going to go ahead here and we're going to add two of them, DNOW and SOI. And now that custom matrix will start to run, and you'll see it right here. We'll take a look at that once it's done running. If you're rerunning the same matrix again, it takes about a minute to run because I don't like playing by the rules and I added a few more tickers. It's going to take a couple more minutes, usually about 5 to 8 minutes. So we'll come back and check in on that pretty soon. So what options do you have? Is it just ETFs? Is it just stocks in the New York Stock Exchange? Well, it's A, B, and C, all of the above. And D, many, many more. In total, there's, I think, about 11,000 securities that you can pick from. Stocks, ETFs, anything that is tradable on a US exchange is available on here. It does not have mutual funds. I know some of you might ask, it does not have mutual funds. They are not exchange traded. Go figure, the name ETF, exchange traded fund, means they are funds traded in exchanges. The beauty of these custom matrices is you get everything in one picture. And you can rerun those custom matrices whenever you want to see how those custom matrices are doing today. And there is absolutely zero realistic limit. There might be a limit out there just because databases can only get so big. We're not going to hit it ever. So go bananas. Make as many custom matrices as you want. Have fun with them. Create things that no one's ever seen before and use them. Do you want to decide between companies? Do you want to look at your portfolio and figure out which stock you sell to make room for another? There are many ways that you can use custom matrices. And if you ever need some examples on how to use custom matrices, we can go back to the Learn site, go here, and here are 7 webinars that I've done in and around custom matrices. One of them is the Introduction to Custom Matrices, which is free. The other 6 do require a subscription and show you some custom matrices that I've been following in 2022. Subscribers, we've seen them. We do monthly check-ins to those matrices, as well as how we can use those custom matrices for different trading strategies: fundamental analysis, sector rotation, and stock comparisons. Let's go check in on our matrix, shall we? In the time it took me to explain custom matrices and the benefits, it is done. Here we see UUUU, uranium, at the very, very top with a total count of 11. Then we have SOI close behind, DNOW, XOP, XLE, all the way down. Also, I made a mistake before. I said UUUU is an ETF. It is not. It is a company. That is my apologies. UUUU is a company, not an ETF. But it stands head and shoulders above all of the other sector ETF in the case of XLE, but also other industry ETFs that we see here, as well as even some oil companies. That being said, uranium is in a very interesting place right now. And to learn more about that, check out Friday, not right now, stay here for right now, please. After this webinar, or whenever you want, go check out last Friday's webinar that I talked about the energy sector and how the current conflict in Eastern Europe is affecting the sector. There's a lot of oil that is being caught up as a result, but there's also attacks on nuclear power plants that is affecting people's trust and kind of backing for uranium as an alternative to oil. Again, I recommend watching that webinar if you're interested to learn more about the current state of the energy sector. Let's now move on to backtesting. This is one that I personally love because it lets you trust but verify. We say that frequently, trust but verify. We do the research so that you don't have to. But before making any decisions, trust but verify. Make sure it's correct, make sure that it's accurate to right now, and do your own research to support whatever decision you're making. Backtesting lets us do that. We can look at matrix strategies, ways of using all of this to invest, and making it very, very simple to do. You can check a single strategy. Don't take my word for it. Let's do it. Let's go and look really quickly at a strategy that trades on Fridays, buys the top sector every Friday, and the conditions for it is X count momentum of 2 or more for the 2-week momentum. I will show you exactly where that is in one moment. So what is that? X count momentum of 2 or more. Here's momentum. Here's 2-week. Here's your total count. You would take the one that has the highest X count momentum, which I didn't sort it by that. There we go. The highest X count momentum in this case would be 7. If it is above 2, you would buy that sector. Thank you. Check in next week. That is how that trading strategy works. Simple, easy to follow, very, very quick, less than 5 minutes to make a decision. How do we know it works? Well, I'm just going to add total count here as a second condition, just in case we have ties. We want to know how to decide those ties. In this case, if we had two things with the exact same X count, imagine XLB and XLE, we would come up to the matrix and take the one with the higher total count. All right. Let's run a backtest and see how this strategy would have done. Green is our strategy. Black is the market. What good is saying, did I make money at all, when there's another option? Throw it into SPY and leave it. So let's compare against SPY. In this case, since September 10th of 2021 to today, if we had invested with this strategy, we would have made $2,941 profit. The market, had you invested in SPY in September 10th, you would have lost $300. Does it always beat the market? No, it does not. There are times it does not beat the market. No strategy is perfect. But there are times that it does pretty darn well compared to the market. Now, again, trust but verify is not just taking my word for it. I could have just said, well, September, see, it did really well in September. It's not doing as well now, right? Well, we can change that. we can look and see how is it done since just January. In the market, you would have lost $750 or $726. With this strategy, you would have made $270. It is not crazy high returns. It's not anything close to what we saw in 2021, but it's netting profit and it's beating the S&P 500. Those are two pretty good marks for any strategy, let alone one that you could do in less than 5 minutes. I've shown you 2 points here. I will show you one more. Instead of January 7th of this year, let's go back to January 8th of last year. And had you used this strategy for a total of 14 months, how would you have done compared to SPY? With SPY, $1,338 profit. With this strategy, $7,969 profit. By doing nothing more than Friday morning over your cup of coffee, coming to the matrix, going to the 2-week momentum, sorting by X count, and buying the top one. That's all it is. So that's one single strategy. But what if you can't trade on Fridays? What if you want to see if you can trade on Thursdays? You can also compare strategies against each other. Doing something similar to this spreadsheet, which I did all of this live on a webinar, so we have all of this as a webinar for you to review. You can compare different strategies in a Google Sheet to see which ones perform the best over time. And again, we have plenty of webinars on that topic to help you out. Before I move on to the last thing, we have a quick question. Si hubiera tenido este ETF hasta hoy, esta sería la ganancia sin cambiar. Si no hay un cambio de sector, por ejemplo, si el sector pasado fue XLB y ahora es lo mismo sector, no tienes que hacer nada. Si no hay un cambio, no tienes que vender y comprar lo mismo. Esperar para la próxima semana. That is, yes, Monica. So that is investing weekly. So every Friday morning, looking at the 2-week momentum, though. We found that the 2-week momentum tends to be a little less volatile and also tends to yield the best results for backtesting, but trading weekly makes sure that you can keep up with any trends in the market. Back when we started Sectors Made Simple in 2020, it was 2 weeks, 2 weeks. So 2-week trading, 2-week momentum. In 2021, that strategy started falling behind a little bit. Well, again, don't take my word for it. Let's go and backtest it. Yeah, let's just use the date that it's giving us, but we'll set it to a Friday. We rebalance every 2 weeks. X count momentum of 2 or more using 2-week momentum, and total count to break any ties. Okay. Not great, not bad. You made money, but it's not the $18,000. And just so that there's no kind of bias here that I'm making up some dates, that's what it would be from January of this year to now. So 1 week, trading every Friday definitely works better than trading every other Friday. Marta, más o menos, porque en el Matrix siempre tenemos SPY aquí. Y hay semanas que vas a comprar SPY. Cuando SPY es el mejor sector para, para el momento de 2 semanas, lo siento, Juan va a comprar SPY. Pero tenemos que comparar SPY hasta esta estrategia porque siempre tienes una opción para comprar y no vende SPY. Y por esta razón, esta es la razón que estamos mirando la diferencia como la estrategia como SPY. Para confirmar esto, quiero ver aquí, porque aquí tenemos qué sector esta estrategia está en lo que sector está invirtiendo. Y aquí, para la semana de el 29 de octubre hasta el 5 de noviembre, sí, estamos comprando y invirtiendo en SPY. Y cuando no tenemos un sector con un momentum de más de 2, no vamos a comprar nada. Vamos a esperar con solamente dinero para la próxima semana. All right, so for the last one, I get to take absolutely zero credit, and I get to give all the credit to the amazing Girasoles, because we have been very lucky to have them as some of our earliest subscribers, but also some of our very close friends that have helped us to create 2 amazing class series for you all. These class series are available on the Learn site for subscribers. You'll find them under the courses section. You'll find them as Sectores con las Girasoles for the class from 2021. And you'll find the other one, which is Inversores en Sectores for the class from 2020. These are for only subscribers, so you'll see there's no non-members will learn about section for that. And again, those classes were from 2020 and from 2021. And those classes will show you, not just slideshows and all of that, actually using charting tools, charting analysis, and buying and selling alongside all of you to learn how you can use Sectors Made Simple in addition to other resources to help you invest simpler, but also manage money simpler. Vero had an amazing webinar, for example, on Mint, how you can track your budgeting and savings and investing all in one place in a very easy way. And again, yes, those courses are available through the Learn.Sectors Made Simple site. Monica, what would be the adequate amount to invest using this strategy? Great question. How much would be adequate is tricky because really those are all percent returns. Something you could do with $1,000 with that strategy, you could also do with $10,000 or even $100,000. You're not, unless you're investing millions of dollars, you're not making a difference in the volume of that ETF. So you really could buy it pretty quickly. Or rather, you can invest with a little bit of money. I ran the numbers back in 2021 at the end of the year and found that you had to invest about $5,000 or so to recoup a subscription cost for the year. But that's with 2021 returns. Those returns were insane. That's not something we can promise every year. Again, how much you want to invest is totally up to you. This might not and probably should not be the only strategy that you're using. This is a very see it, set it, forget it kind of thing, but it's also meant to be an addition to long-term trading strategies that you buy and hold things that might yield high dividends or things you're putting in your Roth IRA or other savings and retirement accounts. You might have other things that you're actively trading in your normal portfolio. This is just another resource for you. And that's why I try and emphasize, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Find different things that work, because the worst thing is when the one thing that you have just stops working, or doesn't work as well. Having those other things to give variety is important. So it's not a matter of how much you invest, but a matter of how many eggs are you putting in what baskets. Hopefully that makes sense. Sectors Made Simple es para teenagers y jóvenes. Tenemos recursos para jóvenes, sí, pero esto es para invertir. Si hay un teenager que estás invirtiendo o quieres aprender cómo puedes invertir, sí, es muy, muy importante para esto, porque tenemos recursos para empezar a invertir y cómo puedes ayudar tus inversiones. Tenemos mucha información para personas nuevas y personas que estamos con nosotros por 2 años. Para teenagers, recomiendo que puedes ver el Getting Started Guide en nuestro sitio. Voy a poner el enlace en el chat. Recomiendo esto porque este va a darte un curso muy importante para obtener información de qué es Sectors Made Simple, qué es el Matrix y cómo puedes usar esta información. Si veas este curso y quieres comprar una suscripción, me recomiendo, es obvio, esta es mi compañía, pero siempre estamos buscando por más cosas para ayudar a jóvenes y personas lo siento, no sé la palabra para age, pero no es para una persona solamente. Queremos crear información para todos. Y was there another question? Oh, una cosa más. Este verano, mi madre y yo estamos trabajando en un curso para solamente jóvenes y estudiantes en escuela. Esto vamos a empezar. I'm going to say this in English. I apologize. We're going to start from the very beginning. This course is going to be from you know nothing about investing at all to how to set up a brokerage account and beyond. Lo siento que necesito hablar esto en inglés, pero si tienes más preguntas, por favor envíame un email y puedo hablar contigo ahí. Muchísimas gracias. Okay. I have one last thing to share with you all really quickly. It's just a little bit of information about subscriptions para cualquier edad. Muchísimas gracias, Olga. All right, so a little bit of information about subscriptions and also that promotion that I mentioned. So a subscription to Sectors Made Simple, if you are interested in one, gives you access to all of the dashboard tools you saw today and more. Access to our Learn site with over 80 hours of subscriber-only webinars. That spreadsheet group that I've found. The Matrix app for iOS and Android. And for annual subscribers only, so if you wish to purchase the annual subscription, you get a price lock, which means what you start paying is what you will always pay. Your price will never increase for your subscription. And 50% discounts on standalone courses, such as the Spreadsheets Advanced course, and we have a few other classes planned for later on this year that will be available for those 50% discounts as well. And now, the promotion. Yes, I have gotten married. Kira and I got married this week, finally. And we wanted to share some of the joy with all of you. So, something my mom always did to celebrate my grandmother's birthday is she would offer a discount for only one day for a subscription, or for her curso completo is what it was at the time. So we wanted to start something similar. So this year, to celebrate our wedding, and because we've been together for 6 years, you can get 6% off any subscription for the first period. So 6% off your first 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. So to get that offer, please use the code below, wedding2022. So that's what I have for you all.
Only a week.
It is, oh yes, this is only for 1 week. This promotion ends next Friday, March 18th. You see right there, it will end in 1 week. So if you've ever been considering a subscription, or if any of the benefits that we talked about today are interesting to you, or if you just want to support what we are trying to do here of providing information to everyone, we very much would appreciate your subscription. So that's what I have for you all. 3 ways that you can invest simpler with Sectors Made Simple. From non-members content, 3 ways, and members content, 3 ways. And again, we're always here to talk with you, answer any questions, and if I can't answer it in email, I will answer it in a webinar. And looking for more ways to help you invest simpler. If you have any questions, you can always email us at support@sectorsmadesimple.com. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you all back next week for another webinar. And thank you all so much for everything you've done to be a part of this family. Take care, everyone.
For pictures, tell them we'll have them in 2 weeks. Or we'll have.
Asking for pictures. We'll have, so we have a reception in 2 weeks. So Friday, March 25th, we're not going to have a webinar. That's going to be the actual, reception, and the party part of it this week was just dealing with all of the legal stuff that no one wants to think about, but everyone has to do. So, until next Friday, and members until next Tuesday, we'll see you all very, very soon.